Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we do have a pretty important Nintendo Switch 2 topic to talk about. Some recent things have been happening when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order date. There is some stuff happening on the back end of Target's website, and a lot of people are wondering, is this the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order date? We will be talking about that in the video and any other topics I can find when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 or just regular Nintendo Switch news. And of course, if you guys want to be kept up to date on all the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff, including pre-orders, reviews, games, news, and all that great stuff, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and also have that notification bell on, because sometimes YouTube doesn't bring my videos to you guys. And of course, if you end up enjoying the video, leave a like. It helps the video reach more viewers when you do. So when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order situation, a lot of people do want to know exactly when can they pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2. Right now, there's a lot of stuff happening with the tariffs and different prices, and overall, it's been a very confusing and kind of frustrating situation when people want to actually pre-order Nintendo's new system. So this bit of news that popped up about the pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch when it has to do with Target's pre-orders is pretty exciting, especially since a date is attached to it. But the big question is this actually the date for the Nintendo Switch 2, or is it just a nothing burger, or is it a placeholder? And that's why I titled the title of this video the way I did. Now this also comes with information about different pre-orders in the UK as well, so if you're in the UK, you are lucky you get to pre-order the Nintendo Switch, and it does have information for you as well. So the first update from Go Nintendo has this to say about it. Target has updated their Switch 2 wishlist service on their back end with a date of April 30th. This could be nothing more than a placeholder as it's the end of the month, but it could be an indicator on when to expect pre-orders to go live. We'll keep an eye out on the situation for more details. So there that part is, April 30th might be the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order. Now my question is this just for the UK? Because there is a lot of different information when it comes to their pre-order dates. Or is this also for the United States and also Canada? The sources in their article leads to VGC, and it's for the Amazon Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders. The other source is also VGC, and it's for UK retailers as well. It's from a store called Curry's, so it seems Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders are up on that. So I would assume this is for the UK only, but we'll get to more of that information later in the video. Let's get to the other pre-order information. So the second update for Amazon UK says Amazon UK has noted that they'll be opening general pre-orders for Switch 2 soon. They were offering invite-only pre-orders so far, but in the near future, anyone will be able to hop on the retailer's website and lock in a pre-order. We'll let you know once they're live as soon as the information comes available. And then they have another update that says that Amazon UK is now sending out Switch 2 pre-order links to those who registered interest, so keep an eye on your inbox. So if you do have any interest in pre-ordering the Nintendo Switch 2 and you're in the UK, make sure you check your inbox because you may have a link. Also keep in mind that this is on the 14th as well. This article was made, so you may have already missed it, or maybe you still have a chance. Nintendo said that they're doing a lot of stock for the Nintendo Switch 2, so you might still have a chance. There's also other stores like Smith's in the UK has jumped the gun and opened the Switch 2 pre-orders now, according to Go Nintendo. So as far as the UK goes, there are some pre-orders opening, so even if you didn't get into any of these stores, just keep your eye out on Twitter and other stores and stuff, because you might be able to snag a pre-order for the Nintendo Switch 2 at some other store, or maybe even some future date when it comes to these retailers. Now let's jump back to the Target pre-orders for April 30th, because we don't know if this is actually going to be just for the UK, or is it also just worldwide, including the US and Canada. So Jake Randall says this on Twitter: to address the Target leak showing April 30th as the Switch 2 pre-order date, it's most likely nothing. I think they probably bumped it to the last day of the month when it got delayed so they wouldn't go live early, and will remove the correct date when they know it. So while April 30th isn't a solid information about when the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order date is actually going to go live for us in the US and Canada, that information is good for those who are coming across this and really hoping that this is the actual date. Just keep those expectations very, very low on that front, because you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. Now we do have the Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct, so I'm wondering if they're going to actually announce any pre-order date information there, or are they just going to focus solely on Mario Kart World? Typically when it comes to these kind of Nintendo Directs, they don't really announce any big information that doesn't have to do with the actual game, unless there's some kind of special edition or something with the Joy-Cons or something like that. They'll announce that there, but when it comes to like release dates on other stuff other than the game, they don't really do that. So again, going into that Nintendo Direct, try to keep your expectations very low on that front as well. So right now, as far as we know, when it comes to the pre-orders, we just don't know when it's coming, But in a separate video, there was some pretty good news when it comes to pre-orders. There's apparently a 90-day negotiation going on, and that 90-day might actually be very good news for pre-orders because that means Nintendo can get those pre-orders out for US and Canada. So those tariffs wouldn't really affect the console, so that might be our saving grace, which I'm really hoping it is because I would like to see everyone get their Nintendo Switch 2s and stuff, and maybe I can even squeeze one in. We'll see. Again, like I always say, depends on how much money I have then. With that being said, as far as we know, the June 5th date for the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 is still set for Canada and the United States. It's not going to be delayed, so I guess we'll get that eventually. I mean, it's already halfway through May right now, or not May, April. So they have to announce the pre-order date for the Nintendo Switch 2. I think one of the positives of this, if there's any positives that come out of all of this, is that people who maybe weren't going to have enough money on the day that these pre-orders were going live now do have enough money by the time these pre-orders go live. Like, let's say you were like $100 or $200 short and you've been saving up. Well, that gives you some money to set some money aside and get a Nintendo Switch 2 at launch. I'm just trying to find the positives in all of this. Now, when it comes to the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, there is some new things happening with that, especially when it comes to the tariffs. So one thing to keep in mind, it's already been stated by Doug Bowser, the president of Nintendo of America. He said that the price for the Nintendo Switch 2, the $450 price, has nothing to do with the current tariffs. We covered this on the show a while back, but considering that the tariffs just keep going up, something new has happened, and there are some situations that might end up being affected by the tariffs when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. So there's a title from My Nintendo News, and it says, The Nikkei, Nintendo Switch 2 in line for a 145% tariff hit. And this is what MyNintendoNews.com has to say. The Nikkei is reporting this morning that the looming trade war will see the Nintendo Switch 2 hit with a 145% in tariffs when it launches on June 5th, which I hope not. Jesus, man, that's gonna really suck. But anyways, continuing with the article, this just won't affect Nintendo as all major gaming companies rely in part on the production from China. Sony announced today that the cost of the PlayStation 5 is due to increase in certain parts of the world, including Europe. And my thoughts on that are, especially when it comes to the US, I don't think that's just gonna be for, Europe and the places that it's affecting. I 100% think that's coming for the US as well, especially in the US. I know some people don't think that, but a lot of things are increasing in price, not just gaming, and this is one of the things that's going to increase. If the PlayStation 5 is increasing in Europe and stuff, it's definitely going to increase in the United States. I think it's just a matter of time. But anyways, continuing. According to an internal assessment memo by a major Apple and Nintendo supplier seen by Nikkei Asia, game consoles are still subject to the 145% US tariff on goods made in China, which means products like Nintendo's, I don't know why they called it Nintendo's, I get it, okay. Like Nintendo's highly anticipated new console are in line for a massive hit. And if this is true, man, that's just gonna suck because some of the games are already higher priced, and now the Nintendo Switch 2 itself could potentially go up. We already had to have that question in our head even before this. So now it feels like we're just in a giant circle. With that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.